Coming up next on Small Town Big Deal. Strike up the band and light the Yule log. We're on a coast-to-coast holly jolly journey.
Come along for our illuminating visit to a magical place known as Christmastown, USA.
Then meet the New York chef with a sweet tooth for building the world's largest gingerbread village.
Skittles.
Sweet tarts.
This is making me hungry. Ooh, gumballs.
All aboard the Polar Express!
Then it's on to Colorado for a magical train ride to the North Pole.
Who do you want to see first?
Santa.
Join us as we celebrate Christmas across America.
Welcome to Small Town Big Deal. I'm Rodney Miller.
And I'm Jan Carl. We are in a small town in North Carolina that for 339 days of the year is McAdenville. But for 26 days in December, it is officially Christmastown, USA.
And that's because the light display here is so bright that the whole world can see.
Behold the gleaming magic of McAdenville, North Carolina, located less than a half-hour drive from Charlotte. It's a quick stop for Santa and his reindeer because the town's only 1.5 square miles. But the merry residents have come together for more than 60 years to turn their community into a Christmas village.
Do you guys have any idea how many lights?
Best estimate is well over 500,000. And about somewhere close to 350 trees.
The practice of Christmas lights started in 17th century Germany when candles were attached to trees. This is the first tree lit by electric lights. It was displayed at a home in New York City in 1882. McAdenville's Christmastown tradition began in the 1950s when Harvey Dixon Roberts Jr. was in his 20s.
It started with 4 of us standing in front of the old supply room, and we were asking ourselves the question, what can we do to make the town just a little more Christmas?
Their first decoration was kind of like this one, a Merry Christmas sign they made from spare wrought iron. But the townfolk wanted more, a lot more.
Bingo, it exploded, and it just kept expanding and growing, and the traffic got bigger and bigger, and it just grew into what it is today.
Merry Christmas!
In the early days, the power was all plugged into one home. Imagine the bill. But like a Christmas miracle, the Farr family, who owned a textile mill, stepped in to pick up the tab.
And they paid for all the equipment, the hours to put them up and take them down, the whole thing. They paid the power bill, everything. That family has sponsored the lights ever since it started, and they do today.
The celebration kicks off December 1st and continues for 30 days.
Ho, ho, ho!
But we're here for a special evening, the Yule log ceremony. Nothing is silent about this night.
Good tidings for Christmas and a happy new year.
But the biggest joy is watching kids of all ages pull a sled through town that carries the ceremonial Yule log.
You getting tired, Turner?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not tired at all.
You're tired?
No.
What does one do with a Yule log?
Well, you always like to carry it around and in a type of wagon or sleigh, and then you're gonna burn it in a fire.
It warms the heart watching the log come alive with flames. But does anybody really know what a Yule log is?
I've never done this before, so I don't know. A Yule with a log. It's a holiday tradition. It's basically where people come around and sing. I think a Yule log is where a lot of people or a community perform to share happiness. You light up the Yule log and in a giant fireplace. Well, that's all I have to say.
It's okay, guys. I had to learn what a Yule log is, too.
The custom dates back to before medieval times. Yule was a festival commemorating the start of winter, and families would bring a whole tree trunk into the house where they would keep it burning during the 12 days of Christmas. And that festive spirit still burns today in McAdenville. It was once voted number 3 in the world of Christmas lights by USA Today, and it still ranks 4th in America.
And when a town with 800 residents comes in 4th in the nation above towns that's got 2 million, that ain't bad.
I call that a Christmas miracle.
There you go.
Right?
That's right.
About how many people drive through every year?
Over 500,000 cars.
They have spotted license plates from every state except one, Hawaii, and for good reason.
And build a bridge for you.
Y'all excited about Christmas?
I tell you what makes every bit of it worthwhile. When you stand on the street and see a car come through and some little kid with their face pressed against that glass and their eyes about that big, it's worth every dime that's ever been spent on it.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas!
And for all these children, there is still one big question to be answered.
What do you want for Christmas?
A guinea pig. 10 bags of beef jerky. I want a science thing to do science and do experiments. What I want for Christmas is for everybody to be kind to each other and to be grateful what you get.
Amen. And Marcella's wish comes true for all who visit Christmastown, USA.
It really gets you in the Christmas spirit, makes you grateful.
Why, it even melts the Grinch's heart. Coming up next, meet the New York chef with a sweet tooth for building the world's largest gingerbread village.
Welcome back to Small Town Big Deal. You know, Christmas and sugar goes together kind of like candy cane and stripes.
Like M&M's and that hard candy-coated outer shell.
Or cupcakes and sprinkles.
That's a good one. Well, you know, while we're on the subject of everything sugar-coated, we found a very unique cookie-cutter small town recently.
That's good enough to eat.
This is Gingerbread Lane. It consists of more than 600 buildings, from houses to restaurants to the Plum Pudding Hotel.
A lot of gingerbread houses just have like a box and a bunch of candy all around it, but these actually have a lot of detail. It's very creative and sparkly. I want to eat them very bad.
The builder of this huge village is Jon Lovitch, and he might just be the only person in the world making a living from building gingerbread houses full-time.
Most years I make between 1,500 and 2,000 gingerbread houses, so you just have to just keep baking.
Do you like gingerbread?
No. I like the smell of it.
Jon was a chef for 25 years. He started creating gingerbread houses as just a side hustle.
Jon holds the Guinness World Record for the world's biggest entirely edible gingerbread village, with 1,251 buildings. Each of his gingerbread creations is decorated with sweet treats, which can be dangerous if your co-host has a sweet tooth.
Skittles,
Sweet tarts.
M&M's. This is making me hungry. Ooh, gumballs. Oh, ribbon candy. My grandma always had ribbon candy.
It's a miracle you still have your teeth.
Over the years, Jon figures he's constructed about 30,000 gingerbread buildings. His creations go on display across the country, including here at the Long Island Children's Museum in Garden City, New York.
One of the things at children's museums that we try and do is to inspire creativity and imagination. And a lot of times I think when kids hear the word artist, they think only of someone who uses a paintbrush or, sculpting tools. But it might be mixing bowls and cookie cutters. I mean, part of it is for kids to realize their creativity is valuable.
Jon works all year to bake and decorate the buildings for his villages. But as a former builder myself, I gotta warn you, gingerbread is not the most durable building material.
It gets soft, it cracks, it crumbles, so it's reinforced with a lot of icing. You know, you got a few hundred pounds of gingerbread back here and about 3,000 pounds of icing.
That builds a lot of ginger businesses, like 5 Golden Rings Jewelry Store It's a Wonderful Life Donuts and my 2 front teeth dentist's office.
Santa's checking it twice tax service. Pumpkin spice latte!
So John, I know this is a labor of love, but do you have some kind of hidden messages or personal themes in here?
A lot of things. Here behind me, we got Cecilia's toy chest, and that's named for my daughter. And then my wife, she loves unicorns, she loves shoes. She gets the Unicorn Company shoe store, which combines kind of all those things. And the ice rink there, that's actually modeled after the ice skating rink I worked at as a teenager in Kansas City.
My favorite would be a gingerbread barn. I can't believe there's not one here with some tractors in it.
John must have read Rodney's mind. We went to John's house, which, FYI, is not made of gingerbread, and got a lesson in gingerbread barn raising.
Can I touch it?
Absolutely.
There we go. Small town, big deal.
Here's the other side.
Okay.
Now that we start putting it together like a Lincoln log house or something?
We'll use some icing.
How much?
You're doing great.
That much, more or less?
Keep on going. I coat every single inch of that in icing because that's what fortifies it.
Ah.
That's kind of a thin wall right there.
How's that?
That looks great. And we're just going to put some roof pieces there like so. All right, so now we got to put icing
You
in
into?
all these creases.
It's kind of like milking a cow.
Whoa, what happened there?
Let me show you how the pros do it.
Ah.
When it came time to decorate our small town big deal barn, we went for a classic gingerbread roof.
Blue? I'm just using red and green.
Hey, I'm being artistic.
Well, it's Christmassy.
I just would have never realized the icing played such a key part.
Icing gets hard as a rock. 2003, I got a concussion from a gingerbread house. I was tearing down a village for the year, a really big house. I was up on a ladder trying to break it free, smacked myself in the head.
While being careful to avoid gingerbread-related injuries, Jann put the finishing touches on Small Town Big Deal's gingerbread barn.
Ta-da!
Wow.
Pretty good.
Hey! Upside down and backwards.
Turns out that even with abundant icing, our barn wasn't exactly the sturdiest gingerbread building on the block.
Oh! Your roof fell off.
My roof?
We tried, but I'm not sure if it qualifies Rodney and me for the nice list or the nice try list. But either way, come December, I plan to deck my halls with houses of gingerbread. After the break, we're in Durango, Colorado.
Wow.
Home of the Polar Express.
Is there anyone else who would like to go to the North Pole this evening? All aboard the Polar Express!
Welcome back to Small Town Big Deal.
This is our first welcome back in our pajamas.
And hopefully our last.
I don't know, it's mighty comfy, I can say that. We are in Durango, Colorado, approximately 3,241 miles from the North Pole.
And why is that significant?
Well, you're about to find out.
Trains have always played an important part in the life of Durango, Colorado. Population about 18,000.
For over 130 years, this former silver mining town has been home to one of the most spectacular rail lines in America, the Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad.
But come Christmas time, there's a very different and magical train that pulls into Durango's historic station. The Polar Express.
Woo! Oh my gosh! I have chills! Wow.
Based on the 1985 book and the 2004 animated film which followed, The Polar Express tells the story of a young boy whose belief in Christmas is restored when he embarks on a magical train ride to the North Pole.
Who do you want to see first?
Santa.
Santa. Are we going to the North Pole today? Cool.
What do you think you're going to see?
Santa.
For someone who's never been on a Polar Express experience, how would you describe it?
An hour and 10 minutes of wonderful magic fun.
Is there anyone else who would like to go to the North Pole this evening? All aboard the Polar Express!
Durango became one of the first cities in the country to offer a Polar Express rail event back in 2005.
Let's go. Come on. You can't be late.
I'm coming. I don't want to run over an elf.
Today, there are more than 50 cities throughout North America and the UK that take upwards of 1 million passengers a year on this unforgettable Yuletide journey.
We're going to the North Pole.
It's amazing how you get to the North Pole and back
So quickly. It goes so fast. It's incredible.
Who's ready to go see Santa? I am.
Oh, and did I mention wearing pajamas is recommended? I even got Mr. Miller to put on a pair.
You look marvelous.
Well, I'm certainly comfy. I kind of feel like a kid again.
May I help you find your seats?
As everyone settles in and the train pulls out of the station, the story comes to life.
Hot chocolate, hot. Oh, we got it.
From beginning to end, the chefs are the ones who serve the hot chocolate and cookies and make sure that every single passenger on the Polar Express has a good time.
Where does the bell end up?
In his pocket. We interact with every child, ask them what they want for Christmas, sing and dance to the songs. It's our job to make it as magical and believable as possible.
Every kid gets off of that train believing in Santa and the Christmas spirit in the Polar Express.
How would you express the Polar Express ride for someone who's never done it?
I would say hang on to your seats because you're going to get a ride. You're going to get an explosion of an experience that you probably haven't had since you were a child. And you probably go away saying, wow, there really is a Santa.
Now the distance from Durango to the North Pole is 3,241 miles, but we seem to get there in no time flat.
1, 2, 3. Hey, Santa!
As we roll by, Santa and the others brave the frigid Arctic temperatures to greet us.
But as we begin our trip back, we get a Christmas-sized surprise.
How do you describe that when you first enter the train?
It is unreal. They're like saucers with eyes on them. Everything is glued to you. It's just a smile from ear to ear.
I hear the bell! I hear the bell!
How important is it for the kids to believe in you?
You know, it's real important. When I go through and give them a bell, I tell them ring it and believe and always believe.
Merry Christmas, everyone! Ho, ho, ho!
What'd you think about meeting Santa?
It's pretty awesome.
It was pretty cool.
I know.
And I love these outfits. These are fantastic.
Thank you.
Don't lose the magic.
We won't.
Okay,
We won't.
good.
Promise.
And as we pull back into the station, the real meaning behind the Polar Express story and its message of believing is not lost on either of us.
Oh, we're back.
Oh, Jan, that was awesome.
It was.
What'd you learn?
Oh, to remember to believe and to keep that feeling in your heart.
And to keep it all year long.
Merry Christmas!
We hope you've enjoyed this special Christmas edition of Small Town Big Deal.
You know, who knew the small town of McAdenville, North Carolina could light up the lives of so many people?
Yeah, I mean, so many lights and so many happy faces and so many memories.
Speaking of memories, the gingerbread, the smell of it brought back so many childhood memories for me.
And what about the Enchanted Polar Express? I mean, do you believe?
Oh, yes. And these, well, they sort of help us, and they keep the kid inside of us alive.
Yes, they do. I'm Rodney Miller.
And I'm Jan Carl.
Join us again next week when once again we celebrate the great stories from across America. So Santa, thanks for taking time with us, because I certainly don't want to take any time away from you getting my present ready. Jans, if you run out of time, you can just put hers on hold until next year.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
So what's really great?
Will you build a gingerbread house?
Gingerbread house with no hairnet, because we're not going to eat them.
Oh yeah, great.
They're just for display, so we don't have to wear hairnets.
Good news.
Yeah.